Yeah, careful, sorry. Hey folks, taco. And hopefully this is still a bonsai. So this particular bonsai you can see has this white mold, like badly, all over it. I'm not sure if it is a result of, you know, what it's a result of, but I know it can't stay there. This is not mycorrhizae, I don't think. So I'm going to repot this one. I haven't decided what container I'm going to put it in yet, but it does have a smell to it. And I don't use this container until I've really, really cleaned it. So what's coming out of this pot is going to go into a different one. Let me get you guys zoomed in. All right, so I didn't even pause it there. I just zoomed right in. So that's what she looks like. This is my dwarf weeping Barbados cherry. It is a great tree, but it is not doing great. And it kind of does this every year about the same time. So I'm going to, first see it just falls off. It's not really falling out, which is a good sign, but I am going to try to do it like this. Now this is a terracotta pot. Ooh. Yeah, whatever this white mold is, it's not letting go. And you can kind of see underneath there, it needed to be repotted anyway. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit it with a little spatula. So it's funny, this morning was, I'll just chat while I'm doing this like I always do. This morning was the Virginia Bonsai Society's, on a side that's hard to do this without getting my hand in the way. So I'm just going to slide this little kind of spatula turner thing. I'm going to start at the very top. Um, it's very thin. And again, I'm kind of pressing against, and see, ooh, I pulled up some roots there. They're not good healthy roots, but they're roots. So I'm putting in and pressing against this to see if I can just get it loosened up. I'm not trying to, again, being too crazy, just trying to get it out of the pot, which it is free. Okay. All right. This pot is going to go to be cleaned. It is not in the best of shape. So I'm going to take it somewhere else. If you can see that, I don't know what it is. If you know what it is, tell me. All right. Just washing my hands. I know there's still some stuff here, but I want to wash my hands as much as possible. Um, Now, I'm going to go after these roots, see if I can't get a little bit cleaned up. So as you can see, at one point, this was really good bonsai soil. And what happened is over time, it broke down. I might use more, soft sand mix on this. But these roots actually don't look nearly as bad as I was afraid they were going to. This tree apparently grows roots really well. I had a lot of root rot up top a while back, so I was concerned about that, but I think it was just the surface. And right now, I am going to see if I can. Ooh, that might be our issue right there. Wow. So now I know I left this tree in this pot for too long. So I don't know if you can see here, but this is a root that's kind of wrapped around and this and that. Don't want that. So this is going to have quite the root pruning this time, because it cannot continue to be that way. Lots and lots of roots. Happy about that. However, it looks like it's not doing what I want. And depending on how good those roots look down low, I might restyle it. But for now, I'm just concerned with getting it healthy. Getting it healthy might be harder than I expected. So, all kinds of different lumps like this. See, that's not my original screen, I hope. Maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe that's part of it. I'm going to cut that off of there. Plenty of reasons why this would not be doing well, but that shouldn't be a factor, I don't think. Find out soon, huh? Yeah, it wasn't really doing much. Just gonna take that off to the side there, and there was another. Here we go. It pulls out. The bottom screen is in here somewhere. So this is a screen that I put in. I don't know what those other two things are from. They might have been from me. I can't recall. I guess I've had this tree for a couple years, but I don't remember putting that kind of screen material in here. So, all right, let's see here. I've seen quite a few of these with exposed roots. I don't, ooh, love this style. Well, that's something, isn't it? That's coming off of here. I think that is not doing me any favors. Oh, there's another screen in here too. Okay, I don't remember what I had in for this either. Okay. Well, as we can all tell, that is not part of the plan. I'm going to at least cut this off here to get that off, and here too. So this is a lot less to deal with. Again, I do want to get this farther up versus farther down, not one big elongated exposed roots. I didn't actually want to do exposed roots in the first place, so hopefully I have enough good roots up here that I can kind of take it back to where I was headed. There are some good roots, I guess. All right. This is a tropical tree. I wouldn't be repotting a deciduous. But it actually doesn't look that bad considering. All right, I am going to, well, be kind of crazy here. This seems to be alive just fine. It's kind of gone off into no man's land. It actually may not be just fine, even though it's got live roots on there. I'm worried that it's, no, that's a dead root, but that's okay because it's kind of coming from down below. So I'm going to cut it real close to the trunk, and we'll just see what happens there. This one looks like it's feeding most of the tree. This one is alive, but not looking great. I'm going to take it kind of here. This one here that loops back under, I'm going to take it off to there before it loops under. Again, I'm not going for award-winning here. I'm just trying to make it so it lives. This one's going to get cut off here. This one here, these are dead roots up here. Oh, so I don't want dead roots, but you know, sometimes that happens. Can't tell if this is dead or not. Let's see. I think these are all dead. Okay, take that off. That off. That one too, I guess. All right. Yeah, I think that's back to living tissue now. All right, this one here is kind of funny too. Off of here. These here will take it off as well. And then do a little, let's go around the other side. There, all right, that might be what I'm going to stick with. I'm not terribly happy with it, but I really don't have any options. I don't know how well these are cuttings. And I'll be honest, right now it almost looks like a cutting. Don't love the way this is growing, but I've got only so many options. So a little more, I don't want to cut any more of that off. That's what you might call a bad idea. I might be advised to lose this whole root base up here. Well, I'm going to try it. Let me cut these all up pretty high. If they reroot, great. If not, whatever. We'll switch to the bottom root base. But I'm going to see if I can just kind of sort of reroot it. So I'm going to let this be where the energy is, bury it up to there, so that way this can try to regrow. It's really just not in the best shape, you know? These aren't very healthy roots. The ones down below look healthier. At least it is alive, but this is probably part of my issue, but not all my issue. It might have clogged my drainage holes, but there's a lot of old loamy soil, so it may be that I had repotted this one and left the old like nursery soil in there. So not the best move on my place. Now I've got to find myself it's not a bad screen. I might keep this one. Got to find myself a pot to put this in. So that is the tough part. Of course I reuse screens. I'm not going to reuse this one just yet. I want to make sure I clean it real well first because I don't know if that was mycorrhizae, great, but this wasn't doing great, so I have to address that first. Yeah, most of these branches up top are dead, so hopefully I didn't lose the tree, but we will see. Only thing I can do is try. So, gonna get a little pause, but you can see pretty well those top roots weren't doing much. All right, folks, had to get some screen. I'm gonna actually just move this because it's not doing me much good right now. I don't want to get anything in here. And I didn't think I was gonna use this pot for it, but I am. This is not a bonsai pot. It is a Hager planter for like succulents, but as you can see, it's not bad. I have to cut this, but poke some holes in it, and it's a pretty decent size and proportion pot. So I'm pleased with that part at least. And I'm hoping that that means that this will grow quite well. It's glazed on the inside, but since this is a tropical, that's not really a concern I've got. I'm going to try to just use one, I think. It's probably easier and less wasteful to use two separate ones, but you know what? As long as that stays there, I am going to be happy. So I am going to use this to keep it from getting too dirty. And I apologize if you guys can't see real well. I think, especially as a sort of training pot, this will be just fine. So, a little bit at the bottom, just to get me started. Again, I'm not trying to train this as a bonsai yet. I'm just trying to keep it alive. But I think at this point in time, what I've got to do is not give it all that vertical space. So that looks pretty good. I'm actually surprised it stands up like that on its own. I want to get spread out the roots that are in there. Hopefully it'll root from up higher. We will see. I actually think that looks okay. So I'm going to leave that there. Big rock. Ooh. I'm going to try to fill this in. So I'm hoping that this will save this tree. And honestly, although I didn't intend to, it might have made me more room. I don't have a lot of these rectangle pots, and honestly I wouldn't have picked this one because it is a rectangle pot. I don't find that it suits my own personal taste. Whether or not it suits my trees, I don't know. But I do like appropriately proportioned pots, so that's why I've got it. All right, as you can see, it's kind of where it needs to be there. All right, I'm going to give it one more scoop and then do some filling. Not one more, but fill it up a little bit more. Sorry, I misspoke. So this is sifted soil. It does have some old bits in it. I did bake it and all that, but it doesn't mean that it's perfect. This means it's a little closer to ready. And again, I just kind of go very systematically. Try to get rid of all the air pockets. Believe it or not, one thing that's nice about bonsai is that we use this rough soil and it helps to kind of cut. You get much larger, more bulbous roots out of rounder particles, I guess. It's one of the reasons why orchids, they can use like clay balls as opposed to actually like this, because those two like to have larger roots that are less fibrous. They're more just like big fingers almost come out, almost like the new roots you get out of any plant. So this sharper soil has this benefit there, but it is that double-edged sword where we do have to be careful that we sufficiently tamp everything in, because otherwise we can end up with air pockets. The rough particles, corners can catch each other and hang up. It doesn't seem like you would get air pockets or voids in this, but you can. I've had it happen many times. I'm doing fence posts, lots of voids. So that's another reason, again, I think I've mentioned before, I really like this tool. It's just a fork that I bent up, but I really like the way the handle is shaped as far as being a sort of extra soil pick. Sorry for that noise there. I'm just kind of not necessarily taking my time, but trying to get through it and being not necessarily meticulous either. Just doing it. All right. I think this is much better. I think this tree will survive now, which is nice too. I'll put that back up there. Doesn't really do anything or harm anything. I'm going to put just a little bit more on top, just to make sure that when it all settles out, I don't lose any. That's quite nice, I think. All right. Ooh. And another little update. I know I'd made a video before about getting Adam's book. Very excited about that. I have started to read it. I haven't just gotten it for a shelf sitter, and it's awesome so far. I thought it was very cool that the foreword was by Bjorn. I didn't realize that. I was reading. I'm like, wow, this is not how I usually hear Adam talk. And then I went. I'm like, oh. So definitely characteristic more of Bjorn than Adam. I don't know Bjorn personally, and I'm not going. I think it's Bjornholm is his surname there. I'm just not great with names, and so that's why I refer to him as Bjorn. But I know he's very well known in the community. All right. So one of the things I used this time were this little, I think it's a wool painting spatula. Again, very flexible. It's thin. It's not supposed to be sharp, but it does help me get in around the edges. I used my branch cutters, regular cutters, and then my root rake soul pick to just kind of get this set in this way. I did end up washing it. This is my screen material I use for this, and it is a like mid-century modern succulent planter that I drilled holes in the bottom of on a dwarf weeping Barbados cherry. Now, I like the way this tree looks in here, and I hope you do too. But it doesn't mean it's the only way it can be. I just think it looks really good. It is much better proportion, I think, than the planter I had it in before, but it's all relative. That one clearly had issues. It smelled. When you have a funny smell to your soil, you need to pay attention to that. So I'm fixing it. Sorry, I was smiling at Uzi here. So I will get this one watered up back on the shelf. So I'll grab my watering can. All right, watering can is present. I'm going to give this a good water in. One thing I've added to my watering can was a sieve to make sure things don't go down in there, but it's been doing good, so I'm happy. Ooh, that momentum there. Here we go. So there's some kinks to work out. This one, I don't think it has the most perfect hole from the can to the spout, but I work with what I got, Very pleased to see it draining well. The soil doesn't seem to want to hold water at all, which is great. It's kind of why I use this soil. There are some eggshells in here. They're old. They've been out there. They've been baked. So I'm not worried about that, but adds carbon. Nothing wrong with a little bit of carbon in the soil. It does take quite a bit to break down. These are crushed up, but I get the feeling that the plant won't have any issues with them. And if anything, I hope they'll just help a little bit adding sharp particulates. So that is the plant watered in. Sorry if you're just looking at the belly of me that whole time. But we are all set. That is hopefully a recovery on the dwarf weeping Barbados cherry. Thank you all for watching. Cheers.